I finally beat all of Mass Effect. It's all done. And I don't want to go too in depth on it because it's a tired point, but even after all that I read, saw, watched, and complained about during the ending, upon going through even the extended cut of the ending, it's actually, there's parts of it that are actually way worse than I even knew, even after all this time. It absolutely deserves the award of biggest wet fart ending to any game ever.
Now,
There's
are you talking
no
about
comparison.
the updated ending or the original?
Yes.
Okay.
So the updated ending, I want to make it really clear, is way better. It's also like 5 or 6 times longer than the original ending.
Mm-hmm.
Like, like, holy shit. But the original ending, let me give you like a tiny piece of how bad the original ending is.
But is the updated ending also bad? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, it's also terrible. But
okay.
I'm just saying, I'm just trying to put it into scale. In the original and in Mass Effect 2, there's the DLC where you blow up a mass relay, right? It gets blown up, and what that causes is essentially a supernova, right? Which eradicates all planets inside the star system, right? In the original ending of Mass Effect 3, it stated, doing this will blow up all the mass relays. And you had no ability to ask any clarification. And so the only conclusion you could draw from that outside of producer interviews was, if I choose this option, will it destroy every planet in a system that has a mass relay, including Earth? I guess it'll just kill hundreds and thousands of trillions of lives. And then they literally, in the extended cut, they changed it to the mass relays broke, but we could fix them. The extended cut is terrible. It's embarrassing, and it's extra embarrassing compared to all the DLCs that came right after it. Because Mass Effect 3 was supposed to be developed in 1 year, and they got an extra 4 months. And then you got the original like 6-minute ending that was like nothing, and you got hit with a splash screen that says "Buy more Shepard adventures coming soon." And turns out those Shepard adventures are actually the best things they ever made because they didn't have to rush them. But now, when you go through it in the Legendary Edition, you go good, huge dip in quality, which is basically Kai Lang time, right? Good, Kai Lang. Good, great, the worst. So you go from the best thing Mass Effect has ever done, which is a heist followed by a party with every character you've ever met that lasts like 3 hours, followed by the final duel with Kai Lang, which is okay.
Momentum whiplash.
I know this is gonna speak to Woolie real bad. So Kai Lang does a Naruto run with his sword behind his back because he's a ninja.
Of course he does.
Woolie, there are times where the Naruto run is not embarrassing. Most of that is context, right? What is the worst thing you can do to a character who is Naruto running? How do you make it look as shitty as possible?
What is the worst thing you can do to a character that's Naruto running?
Yeah, what is the way to make the Naruto run look the worst?
By not leaning forward?
No. Our brains aren't syncing up.
I don't know where you're going.
Make the arena small enough that the Naruto run is slow.
Okay.
So, dude is slowly Naruto running at like a jogging pace over to light cover.
Okay.
It looks terrible. It looks so bad. It's a Naruto jog.
You know,
It's a oh
I
my
have to
god.
say, like, Naruto running was a thing before Naruto, but
It
at this,
was.
but
It's
at
in the
this,
Evangelion movies.
yeah, exactly, right? Rushing the that straight up like beast moment, the way a
Yeah.
Unit 1 runs, but like, but ninja running was
Yeah.
also not that to me in my brain. Ninja running, I'm thinking of Ninja Gaiden animation, and I'm thinking of like when you would see someone they leaning forward, probably one hand in front of like them with the sword, the other hand in the back, and your legs are doing the like like
Yeah,
pins
yeah,
and
yeah.
needles. You know what I mean?
There's also the version where it's like a knife and their forearm is in front of their face.
That's the one I mean. That's I'm talking. I'm
Oh,
sorry, you
okay.
can't see it. I mean where your forearms in front of your face. I was trying to not block my mouth in front of the
Yeah.
microphone, but the original Shinobi slash Strider kind of like just dash forward with Strider. You know what I mean? And you see that kind of hop where they lean forward and the feet. That's a ninja one in my brain, and it's like
Yeah.
it has been completely replaced with the Naruto run, unfortunately now. But like
That's a goddamn shame.
Ninja Scroll,
So
absolutely a bunch of that.
it's crazy because like the Legendary Edition includes like a lot of like thumbs up, but because the timing of forgiveness is gone, whereas your last impression is going to be the strongest. Now because it used to be if you were talking about the old series, your last feelings of the game were either the ending and you never played it, or you stuck around for the DLC, which was immaculate and the multiplayer was good. So your like gut feeling about it was like tainted, but oh man, there were some good memories we had along the way. When you play it now in the full package re-release, you go from like, man, this series is great to I can't believe I ever liked it at all.
Jesus
Within the
Christ.
span of like an hour.
Man.
Like it's unbelievable.
It's so unfortunate, like, learning. I mean, I've heard so much about everything BioWare related over the years. And, so I obviously I got the sentiment. But, like, now actually going through and seeing it, so of those flagship franchise, like, of the flagship BioWare names and titles, I've experienced Mass Effect 1 and both KOTORs. And just with that little sample that excludes all of Dragon Age, excludes Jade Empire, and excludes Mass Effects 2 and 3. Like, just with those three games, I can see exactly how it's like, oh my god, so much potential for good storytelling, but also just why would you do this mistakes, Or like release issues like with 2 where they like you can edit it back into being a good game,
It's so I was talking to people and I was going over their history, and that out of their entire catalog of games ever, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, which is the opening salvo of the company, and that was back when all of Obsidian was inside BioWare, right? Dragon Age Origins and KOTOR 1 are the only games that were not rushed to shit. Every other game they ever made, including Sonic the fucking Dark Brotherhood,
Oh yeah,
was absolutely rushed to shit. If anybody doesn't know why the music is so bad in Sonic the Dark Brotherhood, there was some kind of technical or licensing issue with the music that was composed. So all the music had to be rewritten and remade from scratch in like 1 week before it went gold.
Man, I don't know how, like, after the first rushed fucking problem, you just continue to think, no, we have to keep doing this for everything else we're gonna make.
Guess what? That has a name.
BioWare
That
Magic.
word is BioWare Magic.
Yeah, but I just know, but I mean the like after that happens and it clearly doesn't work out, to just keep doing it until
remember-
now everyone just thinks and goes, ugh, That's
Do
so
you remember on
sad.
Anthem, one of the most telling things is the quote from devs at BioWare that wouldn't be named, and it was Dragon Age Inquisition doing well, selling well, and winning awards was the worst thing that's ever happened to this company.
Huh. I don't
Because
remember that.
Inquisition was the moment where the team was like being crunched into like broken bones, and they were all just, I want to quit.
Okay,
Hopefully,
and then it
when this
paid
game
off,
bombs, they'll finally change things.
and then it fucking
And
paid
and
off.
then it didn't bomb.
Uh, See, at what point in this timeline equation does EA pressure become a factor?
The minute they were bought,
Which was
I will go and get that. EA buys BioWare. Pandemic, October 11th, 2007.
circa after Mass Effect 1, Dragon Age 2.
Mass Effect 1 came out November 16th, 2007. So they bought it 1 month before Mass Effect 1 came out.
Okay.
Dragon Age Origins was wrapping up its development, and plans for Dragon Age 2 came down, and the plans for Dragon Age 2 were do it in 1 year and make it explicitly for consoles and cut this, and this.
Yeah.
And that's
Side
when
note.
Mark Laidlaw
Mm-hmm.
saw the GDD for it and quit before Dragon Age Origins even came out because he didn't want to touch DA2 at all.
And that's also the same decree that they gave Aspire, right? For KOTOR 2? Obsidian and Aspire? Weren't they the ones that...
They got that was under LucasArts.
Because like KOTOR 2 was also given 14 months to make the whole fucking thing.
Hold on, KOTOR 2. I don't think they even got. I want to say it was 14 to 16 months.
Mm-hmm.
And the part that is extra astonishing is that after it came out in, God, what year was it? KOTOR 2 release. It came out for the holidays, and I believe, yeah, it came out December 6th, and it was mandatory that it came out that year. Like that was the hard deadline. It must be out 2004.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember reading up that in January, Obsidian wanted to put out a patch, and LucasArts' stance was, no, the game is done.
It's
Go.
insanity. It's fucking insanity. Yeah. So it just, all of these things, like, even though we're not even talking about BioWare anymore, but it's still just that level of, like, just ridiculous crunch and stupid development. Like, in the end, it's a miracle that the quality that is here is even here.
It reminds me of the opposite situation that not a lot of people actually get to talk to unless they speak to devs that have worked on shitty projects or people who've QA'd terrible projects, which is stuff like, some piece of shit shovelware comes out, and it's like, a 3 out of 10, and it's the most uninspired World War II shooter garbage, right? But it hits like the 360, and you go, oh my god, who made this? And then you get a hold of those guys, and they go, oh man, you have no idea how hard it was to get this thing to a state in which it ran at all. And we're actually incredibly proud that we were to turn around this shit in the 4 months we were given.
Yeah. Side note, Dragon Age Origins is just Dragon Age 1, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Was there
It's
like
also
a re-release where they put the word Origins on it?
No, the reason it was called Dragon Age Origins was because its big marketing point was that you would start out as, depending on whether you picked a wizard or a dwarf, elf, human, etc., you would have 6 different prologue acts before you entered the main game proper, and that it would significantly affect the story whether or not you were like a dwarf or like a human noble or like a wizard or what have you.
but the first game to ever come out had the word Origins on it already? Oh, wow. That's rare.
That is the name.
That is... Okay, so I just assumed, because of the way Origins is used in every other piece of media, that
it's a prequel.
It's or a prequel or a re-release of the first thing, but you can't use the word one, so you just say, oh yeah, that's, whatever Origins.
The
Marvel versus Capcom Origins.
Yeah, the naming convention for Dragon Age right now, by the way, is Origins 2 Inquisition 4.
Okay.
Yeah, it sucks, huh? Origins was supposed to be their next shot at making a game like Baldur's Gate, which was also one of the reasons why I had the Origins tag on it.
Oh wait, Awakening is just DLC.
Yep.
Oh, so that's not another game. Okay, all right. Yeah, I know nothing about fucking... Yeah, all right.
It's good. Takes place in the Mass Effect universe.
Excuse me?
Not joking. Yep.
Oh my god, they canonically did a fucking Indiana Jones sees Han Solo's bones moment, or other way around. Han Solo sees Indy's bones.
There's a museum in Mass Effect 2 that has a statue of a Dragon Age enemy with a plaque that references that it's from some planet.
They can't resist. They can't resist. It's such a nonsense. Like, yeah, all right. Because you can either do that for like a ha-ha, or you can do that for like a no, for real. Right?
And the one that really gets me is that Warhammer and Warhammer 40K are happening simultaneously.
Well, that's what I was about to say. I was about to say, if you're going to do it for real, then, like, Warhammer is probably the best example of that that I understand, because it's like, you're legitimately pushing these two things to the fullest, and you can see the connections, and they're doing all this shit. But what the fuck, what do you mean simultaneously?
The planet that Warhammer takes place on is surrounded by the warp. So you can't get to it via spaceships, but that's where it's at.
Wait. Hold on.
Oh, people are telling me that's not canon anymore, unfortunately. Oh, bummer.
What the fuck? Okay. Well,
hold on. This might be the most bizarre reaction I've gotten out of this, which is, unfortunately, that's not true anymore. Old canon, Pat's wrong, and that was never true.
Okay.
Which might be, like, okay, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's confusing.
That's very confusing. Because my assumption was the obvious, which is there is an old fantasy setting and there is a future sci-fi setting, and that future sci-fi setting takes place in the far-flung 40K future of whatever the time was during the original Warhammer.
Yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
It's like you take the Warhammer and then you jump 40,000 years into the future. And then now this is what's happening. Is that not what is happening? Because, is Spider-Man 2099 not, in fact, just Spider-Man advanced to the year 2099?
No, you know what? I'm going to invent something right now, and we'll see if I accidentally figured out what Marvel's explanation was. No, Spider-Man 2099 isn't the future of the Spider-Man you know and love. It's actually an alternate Earth where time passes slightly more quickly. So that the year 2021 would actually be approximately 2099. And I bet they call it Earth 2099.
It's definitely a multiverse that has its own canon, but it's not 2099 of Earth 616. But I don't think time goes differently. I think it's just...
Oh, was I close? Apparently I was close.
It is its own thing. It is not 616-2099. Yes.
Mm.
But like franchise and then franchise plus future date, it's
Yeah.
reasonable to assume that we are moving into the future and following
Ah,
a
nah, shut
story
up. No,
in
what
the
it actually
far-flung
means is
future.
we want the characters to have laser guns. That's what it actually means.
Because I just really like. Why wouldn't that be what Warhammer plus a futuristic date is? Why wouldn't it be Warhammer plus all this time has passed
Nah,
and now we're
man.
in the
What
sci-fi?
if it was robots? What if it was robots? That's it. That's as far as the brain goes on this.
Okay. Well,
So yeah, Mass Effect 3's in the bag. Boy, that game would that release pack should
okay,
have
no,
had
fuck
a
off.
mode.
Batman Beyond is 100%
Oh yeah, no, it's yeah.
because that little Bruce is right there and he's old.
It's Earth.
He's standing right there.
It's
the
Earth
same guy.
616B for Beyond.
Anyway, go on.
Mass Effect 3's in the bag. They should have put out a version of that game that edited out the garbage.
I was gonna ask actually, because the content restored mod made me think. Has no group of fans gotten together and said, "Let's fix this and just write our own thing and then make it"?
The original Mass Effect 3 had a mod that shuffled around the last 30% of the game so that it wasn't as shit, and that Citadel was in fact the ending now.
Oh,
So it was like the ending would happen, and then it would be like, whew, oh, thank God that's all over. Let's go chill. And then you do the heist, and then you hang out with all your buddies.
okay.
And then it ends. And apparently, like, I've never played a game where just like going to the DVD menu and shuffling scenes could have made a bigger difference than Mass Effect. Like, it's astonishing. Just take this, and also, you know, content restored. I bet you could do a lot to this game with a content removed mod. Like, a lot of good.
God, what are the examples we always have? Kingdom of Heaven was just like literally the difference between like a 4 and an 8 as far as movies go in just the editing on the director's cut. Beyond Two Souls being told chronologically, if you remember.
Oh man, yeah, Beyond Two Souls being told chronologically is great in one way, but also like a train wreck in another, because you discover that like scene motivations persist through scene chronology, but not real chronology.
There's no overall
like people
feeling,
leave a scene as a child with an emotional state and then continue that emotional state into a scene as an adult, which only makes sense in that order of events. But when you put them chronological, it's just a giant fucking mess. But at least the plot makes sense.
Yeah, the ability to but you see the problem with a lot of these discussions too, which sucks, is like if you fix it, then you have to question, like, well, one, like, who's like, is the fix gonna be so that other people's first experience can be this modified thing, you know? Yeah. I'm reminded of the discussion about Star Wars, the different orders, right?
I hate the discussion that has created, because now there's a bullshit watch order for everything that's always insane,
the modified watch order. Yeah. So God, I'm trying to remember what it was. I think it was like, was it like 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6?
Yeah, I don't remember.
I think
like the most The most insane one I ever saw was watch the all 9 Star Wars
Four,
movies chronologically.
45236. 45236. That's what it was. And
Skip one.
yeah, and you just get the Luke story,
God, that sucks so much ass.
the Luke story, the Anakin story, and the conclusion of both.
Yeah,
right?
that's so. That means you're going from the best movie in Star Wars to the worst movie in Star Wars back to back.
Well, you have to get through them somehow, in some way.
You don't. You don't.
And then
You
the other thing is that there's the Phantom edit, which we did watch, and it was like the Phantom edit deserves credit because like
how much does it chop, dude?
all of Jar Jar and like most time wasted. And I think it brings it. If I remember correctly, I think it brings it down to like 40 minutes or so. I think it brings it down. I might just be misremembering. I think it brings it down to like 40 minutes to an hour tops, and it just chops liberally. And you're like, yeah, got it, understood. Move on, next. You know.
It's because editors. I really feel like in film, editors don't get the fucking editors occupy the same world that the mixer does in the music business, where their involvement to the average person is completely invisible because they're not the one directing the shot or composing the tune or whatever, but they're just as vital as anybody else. And man, if you watch a movie with a bad edit and then watch it with a good edit, you really get that intense like, oh my god, you can save some films in editing, and you can sure as hell destroy them.
It's life and death. It really is everything. Yeah, okay. Well, if it were like me and like knowing and hearing everything I've heard about Mass Effect, like I would absolutely be willing to play a modified fan fiction version of the conclusion, and experience that, and then go back and see what the originals were, and go, oh man, wow, okay, but so, have that better experience. But that's because I know what I'm getting into.
What's the wildest thing to me is I'm gonna go to How Long to Beat, because Citadel is the cherry on top that, while excellent, is so good makes the whole rest of the shit sundae taste worse by comparison. Right? So you get to see, oh, this is what they were able to make when they had no deadline and the resources they needed. It makes you feel actually much worse about the bad, so it ends up evening out. So How Long to Beat Citadel.
Side note, Phantom Edit's 119 minutes. Okay, yeah, no, it was not 40 minutes. I was exaggerating.
So Citadel DLC is main plus extras is 5 hours and completionist is 6.5.
Mm-hmm.
It's a $10 DLC that is halfway to being a full game by the standards of the 7th generation. And it is the best Mass Effect thing to ever come out. And it was made in like a couple months. But all existing assets aside from some levels. Right? And you look at that and you go, God damn it. If you made 3 Citadel DLCs with that small scope, you only go to like 10 rooms, that would have been like a 9 out of 10 game. Easy. Like that.
The way you're describing it, it keeps making me think of the after party in Age of Ultron.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Because it's like, oh, that was, even though Age of Ultron was the weakest, this was one of the best scenes in the entire MCU.
That's literally exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a bummer. There's a fucking arena fighting minigame in there that's the most in-depth minigame the series ever had. And it's just tucked away in a room as part of this $10 DLC. It's basically space Yakuza, like
Okay.
in its structure.
Okay.
It's literally like, hey, somebody called you at the bar. Go down to the bar. Oh no, there's mischief happening. And then mischief happens, and then you fucking leave and go do other mischief. There's no stakes.
Well, that's it.
It's
Yeah, low stakes, hanging out with your friends and establishing their characters. You know, like
and
that's
even
it.
the heist thing. Yeah, that's the last I'll say. Even the heist thing has incredible high moments. In particular, it is the only mission ever in the history of that game that every single party member can come along. To the
Okay.
point where they go, okay, who are you gonna pick? And and every single person over 3 games that is still alive is actually standing in front of you, and it's like 15 people. It's a huge cast.
Mm.
And you go, who are you gonna pick to go? And you get to go, no, everybody, fuck it. And you do a mission with the whole fucking gang.
There you go. Yeah.
And then I go do the ending, which includes saving Earth. And they go, who are you going to pick? And I go, you and you. And the rest of them leave. Because that was made before. And it's whiplash. It's terrible.
I love Ocean's 11.
They even wrote in dialogue for every character based on your total choices over the whole series. The 2 characters that went on the least missions with you ever complain about not getting picked.
Oh, wow. Nice. Okay.
Like,
Okay.
it's, oh man, it's such a bummer. Oh,